Hi, welcome to 4E Outdoors. My name's Derek. You found our first video, so the camera work's going to be terrible. Audio is going to match, but I guarantee you we're going to improve over the years and make this a real channel. So, what we're doing today is a little automotive content. We're going to be putting a bed liner in this 2019 Ram that's behind me. As you can see, I've already completed this project. Did it a little over a week ago. Bed liner's holding up great so far. It's already been through an automatic car wash and it's doing great. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. What we're putting in is this Herculiner roll-on bed liner. So sit back and I'll show you how I did it. And remember to like and subscribe.
Doing a little voiceover to the video here because my audio quality turned out terrible. But the first step is to scuff up the bed. And my initial thought was to use this lovely little brush on my angle grinder. But you'll see in just a second here, my angle grinder had other plans. There you go. You can see all that smoke coming out. It was done for. So I had to switch up to the palm sander, which is actually what Herculiner recommended to do. 100 grit sandpaper on here worked pretty well. It had a little bit of issues getting into some of the cracks and crevices. So I ended up doing a lot of that by hand at the end. But for the most part, this 100 grit worked really well and went pretty fast. I'm getting tired just watching myself do all this work again. That's a lot of bending and stooping around for a fat old guy. Here you can see I had to bring out the shade, the canopy. It was getting a little hot out there in the sun. But almost done at this point. Once you get done doing all this sanding, you have to come back in and clean up, and did a little bit of a test patch right here. You'll see. And that's just kind of checking to see how it looked after I got that dust off of it, see if I was actually getting it down. I was pretty happy with the results. Now I'm going to climb up in the bed and do that work by hand. Try to use a sanding block there. That wasn't really cutting it, so just wrapped a sandpaper around the fingers and went to town on it, getting all those little spots that I missed. Alright, so now all the sanding's done. I'm going to start cleaning this. I wiped it down with mineral spirits and a rag. That is not the recommended chemical from Herculiner. I can't remember the name of the chemical that they recommended, and I couldn't remember it when I was in the store either, so I bought a jug of mineral spirits, because that's what we always use when we're painting the race car. So I figured if it was good enough for the race car, good enough for my truck bed. It was really kind of neat doing this. Watch how it cleaned up. Really a lot of dust on there, wiped off with this mineral spirits. was also able at this point to see all of the holes that I created in the paint. That was a little disturbing. But I'm just going to keep wiping away until I get it all done. You do got to remember, once you wipe it down with the mineral spirits, you don't want to put any kind of skin contact on there. You don't want any oils getting off your hands or off your knees. You can't put anything down on there. You can't touch the bed anywhere. You can't kneel on it. And that goes for the entire time until you get it all painted. So now that that's clean, you can really see where I lost paint in this process and just how thin the paint in the bed actually was, or is. Okay, so this tailgate only had a few little spots over here where it had lost paint prior to, but now you can see that one looks like it had a little before, but all these other spots, the paint just whipped off of there so fast. Like this whole side over here, you can see all the paint is ripped off of there. Over here as it dries, it's getting a little bit harder to see, but man, there's just so many spots where the paint was so thin. Almost every one of these ribs has a spot on it now where the paint came off. I believe that spot was already there. But really crazy how thin the paint is in the bed of this Ram. They definitely didn't make it to do truck stuff. So now that the bed's completely dried, I can jump in here and start painting. Using the paintbrush to make sure I get all those little corners and everything done. And then coming in with the roller and getting the bigger spots. You can see that the bed kind of went white as it dried. It took a little while to dry. I actually ended up using my leaf blower again, get everything done. And just to comment on that audio on that last little bit there, you can hear the neighbor's lawnmower going in the background. Most of this video, I was talking, it sounded like that lawnmower was actually in the garage with me, even though it was across the street. Anyways, that's why we're doing the voiceover. So this rolled on pretty good. It went on a lot thinner than I actually expected it to. I thought I was putting it on fairly decent, but it wasn't until I went to do the second coat that I realized how much product I had left and realized, you know, I really did thin coat on the first go around here. So if you go to do this yourself, you can definitely lay it on a little bit thicker than I did here initially. One thing I want to make sure I point out is the roller that they give you in here. They did it all right, but they didn't really last. This first one didn't last through the first coat, and it started kind of coming apart there right at the end. I ended up having to change it and get out the second roller and put it on. That wasn't fun, but I got it on, got it done. Then I just had to bag the roller up, make sure it didn't dry out before I was ready to paint the second coat. Overall, it went pretty good. I definitely recommend getting an extra roller just in case. Really satisfying to watch the paint go on. Makes such a big change from that scuffed up nastiness that you've created in your bed with the sander, going onto this nice shiny black paint with all of the little rubber bits in it. All right, so I'm just putting the finishing touches on the tailgate here, catching up all those little areas. They said 1 to 4 hours to let this dry before you do the second coat, but that wasn't even close. I don't know if it's because of the evening time or what, but it took me till the next day. You see the canopy's already been folded up. I'm out here about noon the next day, which wasn't too bad. So I'm just going to lay the product on nice and heavy this time around. Really get a good thick coat down for that second covering. Now I'm going to make sure I use the majority of the product that was remaining. So the wife came out at the end here to see how I was doing and help me find any spots that I missed. I went and grabbed the broom handle here and threaded it onto my roller. That was extremely helpful, reaching all those places up in the bed that looked kind of thin still. I'd highly recommend it. And as soon as you're done with your second coat, you want to peel off your masking tape. Make sure all those lines stay crisp. You want to do that while the product's still a little wet. Once it dries, it tends to crack and not come off quite as well. And just like that, you're done. You got a good looking bed liner that will hopefully last for years to come and protect your truck. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you again next time.